BPod Studios.
In the office, in your car, in your footy pajamas, this is how Boston sports fans start their day.
I bet you're just jealous.
Tuncher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hi, everybody. This hour of Toucher and Hardy is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 617-779-0985. Curt Schilling is a guy who had the world on the string. He was real dumb, but he was good at pitching baseballs. He had a lot of success, and he then turned around and could not get over his own hubris. He there's a term for it, and I always forget what it is.
Dunning-Kruger effect?
The Dunning-Kruger effect. And it's very exciting for me because he is the definition of the Dunning-Kruger effect, and that is when dumb people think that they are very smart, and it's always a disaster for them. It's almost tragic, the Dunning-Kruger effect, because you end up overplaying your hand.
You think you can just from out of nowhere with no experience start a video game company, for example.
And it's not even his politics, because if he was some really well thought out like essayist and speaker that like had these controversial opinions, I wouldn't say he was necessarily dumb. I would say that he just has controversial opinions. It's the idea that Schilling has ruined his career by meme. Like I feel like I know what I'm talking about. He takes memes, and then everything he gets in trouble for is a meme. Your need to share memes is idiotic. It's so dumb. And if you care that much about an issue, you're not using a meme. I know a guy I went to high school with on Facebook, and he's always got these memes. And I can't tell if he's being sarcastic, and then I realize he's not being sarcastic. It's just like idiotic. And he, by the way, now we're too old to be that upset about everything. Like, now we're too old to like blame everyone else for our own lives. You got to realize the things affecting your life are in a very small bubble for the most part. But here we are, and John and I have seen this. Hardy, did you see when Curt Schilling he had this weird webcam thing where he would be putting together, I'm not exaggerating this, he would be in a room putting together elaborate train towns. Like the towns that go inside the train tracks.
Oh, sure.
And there would be this crude computer readout thing on the side, and he would just be sitting there with glasses on and this magnifying glass attached to one of the lenses, putting together this stuff, not really saying anything, and then he would go, "Oh, thank you, Bill 22." Because it would go ka-king, and someone would just give him $2.
Smash that send money button.
Yeah, he was like busking, busking on the street, like when you play songs and people throw, like into the hat, they throw money.
Except it looked like the 40-year-old virgin while he was doing it.
Yeah, he was making models.
Figures.
He was busking, like he might as well have been sitting in government station making models with an empty modeling box in front of him.
Instead of Amanda Palmer with a ukulele, it's Curt Schilling with a tiny little bridge going across a tiny duck pond.
Yeah, and for some reason, and I can't imagine that was lucrative at all. I got to imagine that you're at most clearing $100 an 8-hour day. Like, who's giving him money? Like, who's like this wealthy baron that wants to watch him put together models?
Other business people.
How would you characterize the business climate in the country right now? Is it getting better? Is it tough to do business?
You know what? It's what you make it. It honestly is. It's what you make it. This is not, for me, it's never been about the widget. It's about people.
Yeah, it's about people helping people.
Yeah, it's about people
that were left unemployed.
Yeah, it's about
all those people.
Getting a huge break and a tremendous amount of money from the state of Rhode Island and then turning around and not being able to pay your people.
Oh, that's right.
You took your company was based in Massachusetts,
Right.
and you moved it to Rhode Island,
Yeah.
for tax purposes, right? Tell me
Yeah.
about
Well, no, actually, the state of Rhode Island had a jobs creation program trying to lower the unemployment rate, and we were kind of a focal point of their initiative.
No, it wasn't a tax program at all. It was they gave me money.
Yeah, and I still were unable to make that work.
No, and it really quickly failed.
The reason why we're bringing all this up is maybe you've seen it. I got an email from Brendan McNeil that said, hey, guys, look at this big, dumb desk Curt Schilling used to own. The design alone says so much about how important he thinks his work reposting racist memes and live streaming his every thought is to the world. I would love to tell Curt that he suffers greatly for the Dunning-Kruger effect, but he probably thinks Dunning-Kruger is some super cool Nazi general. And then he provided a couple of links. One of them is a story written about it from Defector, and the headline of the story is, "Look at this big, stupid desk."
Well, it is like a crescent-shaped desk. It is. Yeah. It is something. It looks like something that like the Daily Show desk. Ironically, maybe his idea was his own conservative Daily Show.
Yeah. Yes.
Because the Trevor Noah Daily Show was unwatchable, and believe me, no one watched it. I think the medium age for that show, I believe, I'm not kidding, was 60.
Jeez.
Yeah, they did not skew young.
Yeah.
And but maybe he was going to start his own.
Well, he does his own stuff online, which we've seen plenty of, but apparently he won't be using this desk anymore. Someone in Vermont is trying to sell this desk. Have you seen the story, Wallach?
I have.
Do you know? So you know what the asking price is?
I do not know the price. I took a look at it. I don't know what the price is.
Do you know what the asking price is, Fred?
Does it come with the red paint to paint your socks with?
Asking price $12,000.
Well, I mean, there's an original copy of Mein Kampf. I mean, you have to take that into account.
Does all the Nazi memorabilia come with that?
Well, apparently when you walked into his home, you would be greeted by Nazi, the Nazi uniform.
He was incredulous as to why people were upset about that.
And then he was just like, I love history.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, but you could see,
Sure.
like, I don't know, Jews walking in and being a little taken aback.
I'm a little upset about that,
Yeah,
Curt.
you know, like they tried to exterminate my people. You would think that might... Like, just you, not, like, if you walked into someone's house and they were like, I'm really into World War II, and you were like, oh, okay, I understand. And, like even, like, they were like, I'm interested in how Hitler, like, had that cult of personality and how he got all those terrible things done. You would go, okay, like, I'm not, like, saying you're crazy to be interested in something, but just the idea that you're showcasing Nazi memorabilia.
Without any of that boring, cerebral stuff.
Yeah, like, I mean, that would turn off. I mean, it's not his business to make his home open to everyone, but, I mean, to be incredulous about it is a little something.
No, there's no chance I'm going to get elected this year.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's right. He ran. That's right. He ran for something or other.
Senator.
Remember?
No. He was exploring the idea of running for Senate, so they held a rally at City Hall out on the plaza there for him.
Can you imagine? He has this rally at City Hall, and he had legitimately under 20 people there.
Half of which were cameramen.
Schilling.
Yeah.
Curt Schilling.
Downtown Boston.
I mean, there's been real losers. I mean, look at the guy in New York that just got kicked out of Santos. Just got kicked out of the. I mean, look at that guy. That guy they bled a maniac in, and this is Curt Schilling. I mean, Jesus. Herschel Walker screwed around and almost got himself into the Senate.
He just missed.
I mean, he was lying. He
couldn't put two sentences together.
Oh, he might be very much be illiterate. And Herschel Walker was in danger of becoming a senator. And Herschel Walker, do you know how relieved Herschel Walker was when it didn't? He was so happy. He's like, I'm just disappearing off the face of the earth. He goes, I want nothing more to do with any of this. He hated it so much because he realized he's like, I'm being used as a pawn in this whole thing. I have no business being a senator. But that being said,
no danger for Curt Schilling.
I expected you to be at the RNC. Were you asked?
I didn't get invited.
Oh.
I was ready, man. I was ready to stand up there and scream.
You were ready.
He was ready to stand up there and scream.
Ready.
He had a whole plan. He was going to stand up there and scream.
Put you right in front of thousands of people. See how long you last.
Oh God!
Don't let any.
Or they start throwing vegetables at you.
Don't let anybody who's ever tripped into Mar-a-Lago go to the thing. But Curt Schilling's being kept out. But I go back to City Hall.
You know what? Hold on. You make a good point. Scott Baio used to speak at the Republican
they couldn't get
National
anyone
Convention.
to speak. Yeah.
Scott Baio was a speaker at the Republican National Convention, and they didn't call Schilling.
I mean, Willie Ames was was running for vice president. The whole cast of Charles in Charge was in some way, shape, or form.
We've got Baio. We've got Nugent.
Yeah.
We don't need Schilling.
Guys from Duck Dynasty, but we don't want Schilling.
Oh, those guys at Duck Dynasty. Their Q ratings are insane down there. But I will tell you this. Who would have thought that Curt Schilling could do anything in public in Boston and have under 20 people show up? That was so pathetic. I actually felt bad for him because you would think that you would just want to see him. This wasn't 1950 where he achieved these things in baseball. These were, of our generation. And no one cared. He's such a bozo. He couldn't get out of his own way.
Well, Tom on Facebook says he's been storing Curt Schilling's desk for 10 years now. Time to let it go. Interested in trades or best reasonable offer?
I'll give you 5 Jugs magazines from 1985.
I spoke to the guy that built it. He said it cost $15,000 to build, and it would cost $25,000 today.
Well, that was how much Rhode Island they charged Rhode Island
Maybe
for.
He should have traded it in, paid down his debt.
Well, it is made of beautiful balsa wood.
Take $25K off the debt.
He's been storing it for this long, just waiting to strike at the right moment when we've gotten into the mix of Curt Schilling fever.
He was waiting for him to be elected to the Hall of Fame, boost his stock a little bit.
Yeah,
photographed.
Well, he didn't want to be
assembled and in pieces, and I can't imagine someone is going to kind of part with that kind of money for that desk because you're going to need a place to put it, and you're going to need a separate room for this frickin' desk. And it's going to take up the entire room.
Yeah, but it's a conversation piece. You go, hey, look at this desk. And they go, whose desk is that? And they go, was that Lincoln's? Was that Washington's? No, it's Curt Schilling's. And they went, oh. And then it's like, yeah, if you look hard enough, you can see the swastikas he scratched into it.
The comments on the original story, the one title, look at this big, stupid desk. One of the comments says, you just know that thing has a junk drawer filled with a shocking amount of ketchup packets.
I keep the skins from the KFC. Stan, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, guys? Good morning.
Good morning.
So I live in Medfield, and I guess years ago, Curt Schilling used to live in Medfield for, I guess, years. Yep. And he must have given money to the town. So the high school baseball fields in Medfield are named Curt Schilling Field, and then the other one's named after his wife. So just like every time I walk by them, I kind of grimace, and I'm like, when is the town going to change these names of these fields?
Well, if they named the library after him, they would have to only have Dr. Seuss books because it would be disingenuous to have anything above a kindergarten reading level.
But I feel like I know what I'm talking about. I'm informed. I'm well read. I try to understand.
He's well read. He's read every meme. I liked when he did.
I don't think you need to change the names of fields. You don't need, if you got a statue of him somewhere, that's fine. I mean, it's like you said, Fred. You almost feel bad for him that he can't draw a crowd. That he could have had the life of all lives after what he did in 2004. Like, man. That was a great story. That was fun. That was something that people could rally behind.
Now he's been going ballistic for 20 years. So
yeah.
what has he accomplished? Like what is he unmasked here? What is all his vitriol and all his reading? What has that gotten us? What has he uncovered?
Well, there was that truck thing that he pulled off when it came time to help those people out down in Houston. And he sent the truckload of goods down there. Yeah,
because when the J.J. Watt was working in Houston with the what's the name of that charitable organization that does things? Oh, the Red Cross.
Yes.
And they had the infrastructure to get everything done. Curt said, "You guys are fools." The problem is that
Tom Latham say their patience has run out. They loaned a 16-foot trailer to former Red Sox pitcher Curt Schilling's charity, Operation Bullpen, back in.
All right, so what Curt Schilling said is, you guys are so dumb. You have an international cadre of donors, plus you have infrastructure in the Houston area. You're fools. What I want to do is take a load of semis from the Northeast and drive them down to Houston and dump this crap out there. Now, sure, not all the trucks are going to make it, and we'll just leave them in Eastern Tennessee, the ones that behind a Home Depot, right, which I'm not making up, and don't worry about those so much. What's in the trucks? Oh, a lot of cat supplies.
In August, it still hasn't been returned.
We just want the trailer back.
The trailer
That guy called the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy called in the show.
Trucks like there was more than one. I think there was only one truck.
He didn't even have trucks. He had to ask people to borrow their trucks. And so they would borrow the trucks, and then who knows who's driving them. It's not exactly Jerry Reed behind the wheel. I mean, it's like Curt Schilling, trying to double clutch. Yeah, and he left one of them by my parents' house at a Home Depot, by my parents' house.
That guy called in. He was not happy. I remember that.
No, and he was he goes, I didn't realize how stupid Schilling was. I thought it was a good thing. Schilling's like, you know what? The Red Cross has got this whole operation with bottled water and all these feet on the ground and all this infrastructure down there where they can just make it happen. What they need is a total moron to unsuccessfully drive some semis down there full of whatever junk we can get people to put in them. That's what we need to do. And we're going to call it Operation Bullpen.
Right.
On the account of baseball. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to do. And when we asked the guy whose truck it was, what was in it, he's like pet supplies, used pet supplies. People just put their trash in there. It was just like garbage.
Right. It's a bunch of stuff you have. If you've ever had a dog or a cat that passed, you keep all that stuff. Here's a litter box
so
I don't have use for
a lot
anymore.
Of diseased fur covered stuff.
I think enough writers have made it clear that they're going to take a stand on, and I'm using air quotes, my character.
Yeah.
We have your character in air quotes.
No, it's not your character. It's you.
No, you were a very dumb man. Very, very dumb. And you were considered dumb when you were young. Remember, John, when he was drafted, he was considered a big dummy.
Yep.
That was what Philadelphia thought of him. They were like, who's this dumb kid? And he had dyed hair or something. They're like, who's this dumb kid with the dyed hair? He's a big dummy.
But good luck to the guy trying to sell or swap his Curt Schilling's desk on Facebook. Sell or swap for a hide-a-bed. Maybe get yourself a double recliner for that thing.
Now you're talking. All right.
Used hot tub.
All right. There you go. We used hot tub with Schilling. Very little water in it. I mean, science does come into play. You submerge a Schilling in water. There's a lot of spillover. All right, so we'll be back in.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Wondering who made our list of the top 5 all-time queens of country music? Did Carrie Underwood make the cut? Find out now when you text Queens to 45911 and scroll through the list on BackstageCountry.com. Text Queens to 45911 to see the talented artists who rounded out our top 5 list.
It's the all-new Dodger and Hardy.
Whatever, man.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, Johnny boy, it's your chance to shine.
Okay.
The Red Sox actually did strike my interest.
Why is that?
That I like that Alex Cora banged in sick. Now, was that the first day of pitchers and catchers that he banged
very first workout for pitchers and catchers, Alex Cora couldn't make it.
Okay. That had to be on purpose, right? He just wasn't, he had the RIA.
Stomach bug, quote unquote.
Do you think that he really had the stomach bug?
No, I don't think he wants to be there. I think that he would rather be anywhere else than where he is. I don't understand why he is actually back managing again. He's got 1 year left on his contract. He knows what's in store for him. He's not going to win. He's not going to get 500. He'll be lucky to win 75 games with the rotation he's got. I mean, honestly, I think, and Tony Maz brought this up yesterday on the show, so I'm going to steal the idea. I think he thinks that he owes ownership one for rescuing his career. And so he's going to give them this 1 year, and at the end of this year, he's going to go somewhere else, manage a good team, and get back to the playoffs and maybe win a World Series.
Well, also, don't you think he would like the money?
I think that...
How much do you think he gets paid?
Oh, God. Well, $10 million?
Because they said 3 on Felger and Maz.
I don't think that's right. I think it's got to be more than that. Guy won a World Series for you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Was the manager of the best Red Sox team in franchise history.
He also was disgraced.
True, but can you imagine what this team would be without Cora as the manager? How much worse off they'd be? I mean, the fact that they won 78 games last year is a minor miracle. They would have won at least 10 fewer without that guy.
Ooh, isn't this exciting? San Diego's Bob Melvin made $4 million during the 2023 season.
All right, so maybe I overshot it, but it's more than 3. I bet you it's 5.
He also Nightingale also reported that 6 managers in the MLB made less than $1 million in the 2023 season, with the staggering 15 managers earning $1.75 million or less.
I like the fact that the media asked Cora a couple of days ago. So
why do they make so little, John? They're very busy.
Yes, they are.
They got to be at the park.
2:30, maybe less. When Francona was managing,
Francona used to be there
at the ballpark.
He used to be there at 11 a.m.
Yep.
I never understood that.
Yep.
Because he loved the crack of the bat, the smell of the grass.
He's got to go over scouting reports. Got to go over scouting reports.
Yeah, there's no way. But he also had
got to craft a
irritable
lineup.
bowel.
What's wrong with you?
He had to always, he had those saloon doors that he had to go into. And
a lot of dumps involved.
Yeah. He used to talk to, if you don't know, this is true. John used to have to, John had been screamed at by Frank, Jesus. Why
Francona was upset.
I want to say Frank Core because I was in Atlanta when he played there.
Francona was upset about something was said on EEI when I used to work for them, and I was the EEI representative. So he brought me into the office alone with one Red Sox PR guy, Peter, who was a good guy, sat me down on the couch in his office and proceeded to scream at me for about 5 minutes. And that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're by yourself... And it's 5 minutes of uninterrupted screaming.
And now was that when he was on the toilet?
No, that was a different time. I had to. There was some logistical stuff he was supposed to do in an interview that I had set up. So I went in there and talked to him. He's like, "Yeah, Wallach, I'll be there. Just don't worry." But meanwhile, you could hear his bowels move through the saloon door.
So do you know?
Smelled awesome.
Okay, so did you know anything about this?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I've heard this
because this is not just unique to John.
No.
Terry Francona used to have people into his office, and if you don't know what we're talking about, he had his own bathroom.
Yeah.
But, Fenway's a dump, so it's these saloon doors, like these two, saloon doors.
The office is about 3/4 the size of this room.
Right.
But Francona had a big desk, not a Schilling desk, but a big desk, a couch off to the side, and on the other side of the desk from the couch were the saloon doors. So I sat on the couch. And you had a vision right across the floor. You saw Francona, the pants down, the uniform pants around his ankles. That's all you could see. And you heard the noises, and you smelled the smell. And he's just talking to me like we're sitting at a bar somewhere. And I almost knocked me over.
That is just that man is just comfortable around
just
other men.
Did not care.
Now, would it be sexist if he didn't allow the female reporters in there while he was taking dumps?
But I forgot to tell you, the end of it was you heard the flush of the toilet, the washing of the hands back through the saloon doors, and he just kept talking like this was completely normal and nothing had happened. And he sat down, and then he shook my hand afterwards, and I didn't think about it until after I left. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
See, I don't even think it's a power move. I really don't. I think it's what you said. Some guys are just so comfortable like that it seems completely natural to them. What? I'm doing what I do every day. You do it every day. I'm just going to do it and we'll talk.
Yeah, I mean, I know guys. I have a friend who, in his fraternity, they didn't have stall doors. And he was like, I loved it. Like, he's like, I loved it. Like, I don't know why, but there was something about it that he looks back on fondly. I'm with you, Hardy. I don't want anyone around. I don't like. It's a disgusting act. I don't want anyone around. But my whole point with the Red Sox was this: is I thought everyone was freaking out too much, but just wait until this offseason. And now they've done nothing this offseason.
Did I not tell you this was going to happen?
Yeah, and then now you have every right to complain.
They are waiting for all of these prospects to come up. They're going to sign all these prospects to long-term contracts for what will wind up being cheap deals. You know, it'll be Bayo gets a 5-year deal worth $15 million a season, or Tristan Casas gets a 7-year deal worth $90 to $95 million, which is going to be bargain basement for a guy who's going to hit cleanup for you for a decade. So that's what they are doing.
Well, and it's got to really frustrate you, because didn't the Royals just give Witt like the third biggest
11
contract?
Years, over $200 million. Yes,
like the third largest contract, like in Major League Baseball now. It's
the Red Sox have the money to spend. They refuse to do it. I see John Henry, getting back to your area, Hardy. John Henry was the point man on the negotiation with the PGA Tour for over $3 billion. This team was the first thing that the Fenway Sports Group bought. You know, Tom Warner, who embarrasses himself every time he steps to a microphone saying, you know, I didn't mean full throttle. Full throttle is the way I live my life. Great move, Tom, endearing yourself to the common man.
He does. He lives his life full throttle. Balls to the walls, Tom Warner.
He is something else, that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, Harpo, they'd always put him in the corner to let Larry Lucchino and John Henry answer the baseball questions. Now you have the guy who knows nothing about baseball answering baseball questions.
But he knows plenty about the Cosby Show, so we could ask him why they had those dream sequences.
He's a legend. By the way, and you forget about this, Rob Manfred he has 5 years left on his contract. He's going to step down. You know who Manfred beat out in the voting for the commissioner of baseball when he won it?
Werner?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Tom Werner was the runner-up in the balloting by the owners. Tom Werner was almost the commissioner of Major League Baseball. That guy.
The Manfred stuff came out, yesterday, the day before?
Look, I'm 65, okay? I just started a 5-year term. Do that math, right? That makes me 70 years old. You can only have so much fun in one lifetime. I have been open with them about the fact that this is going to be my last term. You know, I said it to them before the election in July, and I'm absolutely committed to that.
Well, good for you. It's kind of like Roger Goodell. He's used as a human shield by the owners, who continue to make tons of money and spend none of it. Don't spend enough. They put as many caps as they can on spending.
It is tough to wrap your head around that they could be operating in such a simplistic explanation of, well, we've got all this stuff going on here with the Fenway Sports Group. We just spent all this money to invest in the PGA Tour, and we got the Penguins now, we got Liverpool, we got Rays, and we got LeBron, we got all this stuff. You know what? Cora's here. Just let him go for another year. It kind of doesn't matter. We'll bring Theo back. He'll keep an eye on that, but help us keep an eye on the other stuff, too, because it just doesn't matter.
Theo, a baseball guy, is more interested in finding the new manager for Liverpool. That's why they hired him. He's going to be a consultant to all of their properties.
But it'll look better to everybody by bringing him back and having his name associated
unless you spend 5 seconds examining what his job title is. Then you realize that he's not a baseball guy. He's going to be a guy who deals with all the other stuff.
All right, we have a call. By the way, Be Real says maybe Matt McCarthy could be the commissioner of the MLB, and only if that means maybe less bupkis.
Maybe less buffoonery.
Oh, jeez Louise, you said it, not me. Ha! Someone just burned McCarthy's beard off. David, go ahead.
Yeah, got a quick story about a guy being comfortable around guys. Sports club in Boston. Guy completely naked, socks on, Gucci loafers on, walking around, having his coffee, shooting the breeze with everybody, putting his foot up on the bench. Remind me of the Francona story.
Yeah, well,
absolutely frightening.
If you served in a war, chances are that you are naked at a YMCA right now. Tommy, you let Schilling borrow your trailer to take it down to Houston?
Yes, sir.
All right. How long after you let him borrow it did you get it back?
5 months after he broken and left it in that Home Depot parking lot in Tennessee.
Okay, so not only did you let him borrow your trailer, he left it in Tennessee, and it never even got to where it was supposed to go.
Negative, and it was still full of supplies, if you guys remember. I can't believe it's been 5 years, but it still has.
All right, and just so people know, this is absolutely true. Tommy donated his trailer to Schilling to take down. Tommy's a nice guy. Let him take it. What was it filled with, Tommy, if you recall?
It was filled with dog crates, a whole bunch of bottled water, and other dog supplies for supposedly the shelters in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's what they were clamoring for.
And, Tommy, I remember when you called into the show before, what was the condition of your trailer? How did you get it back, and what was the condition of it?
Well, the axle was broken, and they left it in the Home Depot parking lot, and it took us that long. He didn't want to pay for it, and then by using social media, finally his wife, Shonda, called us and said, how do we remedy the situation? Because he was getting bad publicity again.
Paying me.
You remedy. Again, if you guys remember, it was only $800 that we were looking for. We didn't even want any money, just the cost to go down there and get it.
Right.
Jesus. Well, I mean, how dare you, Tommy? Let someone borrow something and have them bring it back to you?
Did they give you the $800?
In gift cards.
No way.
To where?
It wasn't even cash. Yeah, it was.
Pay on to watch him make
probably
models.
Donated by somebody as well.
Gift cards for where?
Models are us.
It was a prepaid Visa card.
So it was very on the level.
Option to use it.
All he does is pay taxes. That's all he does.
Tommy, just while we got you, are you at all interested in buying his desk for $12,000?
Maybe if I can get a loan. Probably not, though.
Okay,
all right. Take that right to the dump, right? Hey, if I can give a shout-out to my hockey team, Plymouth South Panthers. We got some game this weekend. We need a win. So.
There you go.
All right, Plymouth, I'm all for it. Plymouth Panthers. There
Plymouth
you go.
South.
Yeah, Plymouth South Panthers. There you have it.
Right on.
Plymouth North Panthers can go screw. Right. As far as I'm concerned. All right, so what Patrick Mahomes
Plymouth
is up
North
to some...
Pussycats. More like it.
Stay in your lane. You're blowing my effing mind over here. Jeez.
We have dueling McCarthys? Is that what this is?
No, I'm not gonna try it out.
Sure
McCarthy.
Sounded like that.
The original
Tom,
McCarthy.
you say Tom Werner. I say Tom Worm. He's a worm. He's lower than dirt.
Sorry, Tom, you go on away from here.
You go, oh, my stars. I've got the vapors now. Pitchers and catchers more like you stinks and stinkers.
Yeah, there you got it. I knew you would land that one.
I could.
I
landed it like the freaking planes.
Sometimes don't overthink it. Good.
Keep it simple, stupid. Patrick Mahomes.
Kiss this.
Kiss my grits. Oh, jeez. My car broke down in Arizona, too. And I just stayed.
Yeah.
And the people at the restaurant became like a family. Even the ditzy one. She was a handful, but I'll tell you, she loved us. All right. There's a new team in town. It stinks. All right, we will be back.
BackstageCountry.com, your online home for all things country music. Country music has so many generous artists who always seem to jump in to help those in need. We're spotlighting 5 who lead by example and lend a helping hand to charitable causes. See who made our list when you text GIVE to 45911. Text GIVE to 45911 and read all about it right now on BackstageCountry.com.
On the air,
online, on the air.
This is how Boston sports fans start their day. Dutcher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
ready?
Hey, Toucher and Hardy is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel.
I'm a little nervous about something. Can I unburden myself?
That's why I haven't even interrupted you. I just want you to feel like you can do anything.
I'm getting on a plane on Sunday, and, I have no problems flying. I have no problem doing anything. But then I don't think about things like this, which happened, I believe, on Valentine's Day. Passengers on a Delta flight were showered with maggots after they fell down from the overhead compartment.
Oh. Well, how were they bad people?
From Amsterdam to Detroit, maggots started falling onto passengers midair.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the maggots had infested fish that some passenger had stored in their carry-on luggage. Well, 2 hours into an 8-hour...
So wait. You're allowed to do that? You're allowed to travel internationally? I thought that the whole thing, you can't even bring produce internationally.
I would think that somehow this would have been caught, and they ask if you're carrying back any produce, any plants, anything of any kind.
Yeah, you're not allowed to bring food like that. It had to be a tremendous amount of fish.
Well, it was. There's a photograph of the rotten fish, and apparently maggots had gotten inside those fish and crawled out of the fish, crawled out.
Oh,
of the
they
bag.
were actually. I thought it was the band. I thought someone had brought a bunch of vinyl from the band fish.
No.
And they had the maggots just naturally grew because I thought they revolve around crap.
But it was so bad and such a disruption, they turned the plane around and went back.
Yeah, well, that's happening. If I open up something and maggots fall all over me, you're turning this thing around. I'm not sitting in a tube for the next 8 hours above the ocean with maggots. Like, no matter how much you assure me the maggots are gone and not on me, you are turning around. And I'm also interested in that there was no red flags flying internationally that you put your bags through and that they didn't even check the fish.
According to Delta Air policy, carrying food as a carry-on is not considered dangerous and allowed on board if packaged correctly.
Then how come every time you land internationally, they give you the third degree on if you have any produce on you? Yeah. Isn't that so there isn't any bugs in it? Like you're not bringing in like malaria and stuff into the country?
Yeah.
I mean, you always got to fill out that form. I'm no world traveler, but I've had to fill out that form more than a baker's dozen times. And they're always asking about fruit, so you can't bring an orange, a delicious orange, but then you can bring 2 fish like a maniac. I bet you that dumbass, and they're small too. I bet you that idiot caught them, and he was like, "I'm going to bring them home and mount them." They're like 2 dumbass silverfish. Yes, you turn the plane around, and then the guy should go to jail for the rest of his life.
Well, the passenger, they turned it around. Plane landed. Passengers taken off. Cabin was thoroughly cleaned. The suitcase was placed in a bag to be burned. They just took it away and took a.
And so, did the guy just get to get on the next flight?
No, unclear if the owner was fined or if any action was taken.
Were you allowed at least taken on a bus to the red light district so you could have sex with a prostitute that has been dancing for you in front of a mirror?
I'm glad you asked. As compensation, travelers were given 8,000 air miles, hotel room compensation, and a $30 meal ticket.
What about for the red light district where they have the ladies seductively dance to siren song for you to have sex with them?
Have you been to Amsterdam?
I have not, but I love prostitutes.
Wait, you have one?
I have been to Amsterdam. My father took me. I was there with my father, mother, and sister.
But the problem is he was in a cage the whole time.
I was there. Now, this is weird. I was there when I was...
watch. Let him watch. Let him learn.
Jonathan, you come in here and watch me thrust into this woman. Jonathan, you this is how lives are created, Jonathan.
You came into this world this exact same way, boy.
Jonathan, you watch. Here's a lesson. Now you watch Lethal Weapons as she takes my seed.
That's a good pull.
I think it's the first porn star I could think
of.
That had a funny name.
Pull. Yeah.
Go ahead, Wallach.
No, I
You're
was just gonna
15
say-
years old with your father.
My dad walked me through there when I was 15.
Oh, the red light district?
Yes, alone, just me and him. My mother and sister stayed back in the hotel
I'd
room.
have to see it,
Jonathan,
too.
we're going to go for a walk.
I'd have to
Where
see
are
it,
we
too.
going, Dad? Just follow me. I was like, what the hell
Where are we
doing?
walking? Well, the place I'm going to be when you guys all fall asleep tonight.
Jesus.
I told you the guys the story about my friend that had a video. It's the best video I've ever seen. So it's his dad. They're in Vegas. His dad became a professional gambler in Vegas. So he's like a really together guy.
Right.
And it's him and this woman. And it's a video camera, and they're walking into this room, and they walk into this room, and they're like, oh, hi. I mean, the dad's probably in his late 50s. The woman he's with is in her 40s, and there's a woman in bed. And they're like, oh, how was last night? And they're like, oh, it was great. I had the best time last night. It was so great. It was this other woman in her 40s in the bed, and it was so fun. And then it's my friend's dad, a 40-year-old woman, another 40-year-old woman, and all of a sudden, out of the bed pops my friend, who is 19 years old, and him and his dad split a couple broads that night.
Like Officer and a Gentleman.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then the dad carried him out of the room.
Love lifter.
That might be the hardest I've ever laughed in my entire life, is when kid popped out of it and went, hello! It was like almost like a Seymour Butts kind of situation.
Yeah.
like almost like a reality TV show.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, a lot of POV.
Good for you,
Sometimes Seymour
Proud
would
of
just
you.
hold the camera the whole time.
Oh, yeah, he's talented.
He loved tushies.
Yeah, well.
He'd call them tushies.
Tushy con carne.
But, yep.
That was feature length. That was, so to speak.
They had that show on Showtime, Family Business.
About what?
Seymour Butts.
And Alicia Class?
I don't know. It was his uncle, his mom, all worked at the company.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, that's all I know. The only reason I know Seymour Butts is because of
I found
show.
Seymour Butts a different way.
Oh, through the pornography that you were watching.
Yes.
All right. So did you go to the red light district? Did you at 15? That had to have been torture for you.
I had no idea what was going on, and then my father's like, "Look over there." He's like pointing this out to me at the age of 15. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
You had to want to escape your room later that night and at least go back there and look, right?
I don't remember that, but I'm sure those thoughts did go through my mind.
When I was 15, I would have Mission Impossibled out of that place.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have had the balls to go and like get a prostitute, nor the funds. But I certainly would have gone and gotten enough mental material for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
I would have walked, because don't they dance in front of
Yes,
the
they do.
windows?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, Dan's shaking his head. He's like, yeah. But,
Yes,
you
they
know.
do.
And he's like, and it's a great deal, Dan just said in my ear. Dan just said, yeah, I go back all the time. He said it's no Thailand.
Nice, Dan.
He said it's no Thailand.
Is it euros?
Yes, you could use euros.
Okay.
At the time I went, there wasn't a euro, though.
All right.
What was it? What was the currency?
Whatever they used there.
Okay. Oh, well.
British pounds work, though.
All right. All right. When we come back, was something fake, something that's gone viral, a podcast featuring someone in the sports world, was it faked? That is the question we will ask each other when we return.